Hiya and welcome to the channel. If I'm being deadly honest with you, I'd made a reaction video about Bayern Munich bidding for Luis Diaz and Liverpool rejecting it. I was just about to upload that, and then I saw a Twitter notification from Fabrizio Romano, and this absolutely stunned me. It stopped me in my tracks. Fabrizio Romano tweeted, Liverpool have made club-to-club approach with Newcastle to discuss a record bid for Alexander Isak. I'm sorry, Liverpool did what now? As you can tell, I am still stunned, still trying to gather my thoughts on this because, quite frankly, I cannot believe. I never in a million years would have thought that Liverpool would drop a ridiculous amount of money on a footballer. Never mind doing it twice in one summer. Liverpool have signed Jeremy Frimpong for around 30 mil. They signed Kerkaz for around 40, I think it was. They then went and dropped 116 million. Well, it was 100 with 16 million add-ons, wasn't it? A potential record fee on Florian Wirtz. And not just did they do that, they've now approached Liverpool have approached Newcastle to discuss a new record-breaking bid of around £120 million for Alexander Isak, one of the best strikers in world football right now. A lad who scored in a Carabao Cup final to make sure Liverpool didn't win that trophy. A lad who I think has scored around 27 goals last season in his appearances. I mean, I cannot fathom that Liverpool have gone and done this. It does not mean it'll get over the line, and there is a big if, and let's get into that if. Fabrizio Romano went on to say if Isak won't be available, Liverpool can then enter the race for Ekitike, but it is now up to Newcastle to decide what they want to do. They didn't want to sell Isak. They actually want to offer him a new deal, but Liverpool are willing to speak about a fee in the region of 120 mil. Before I get anywhere further into reading David Ornstein and then giving my thoughts, tell me what your thoughts are, because I'm still in a little bit of disbelief at the fact that Liverpool have even put 120 million basically not on the table, but said they'd be there or thereabouts for him. I mean, do you think this will get done? How much will it take Liverpool to get this deal done? Will Alexander Isak be a Liverpool player come the start of the Premier League season? You tell me in the comments. Just absolutely mental. I feel like I have gone... It genuinely feels like I've decided to pick up FC26, which will be coming out at some point. But it's like I've decided to just go and get rid of anyone who didn't have enough pace on the FIFA game and just bring in the best of the best. That's what feels like Liverpool have done. Imagine being a rival right now. Liverpool just dropped 116 on Florian Wirtz, a superstar, one of the lads with the biggest potentials in football right now. And we all thought, well, that was lovely. We probably won't do that again for at least like another 10 years. And yet Liverpool are willing to discuss 120 million for Alexander Isak. It's mind-boggling, it really is. David Ornstein has said Liverpool have made an approach to sign Alexander Isak from Newcastle. The Merseyside club say no formal offer has been submitted, as they are well aware Newcastle's stance has always been that Isak is not for sale. However, they have communicated their interest to do a deal in the region of 120 million. Liverpool's admiration for the 25-year-old is long-standing, while Eintracht Frankfurt forward Hugo Ekitike has also been among those on their radar. There has been no official contact from Liverpool to Eintracht. Newcastle are working to recruit Ekitike, but have yet to reach an agreement with Eintracht on the 23-year-old French youth international. So, I mean, and also, it was yesterday, it was broke that Newcastle were in talks to sign Ekitike. The bid would be more than 70 mil, which had been previously rejected. And I think from everyone in the outside world, they probably thought, I wonder why they're going for a second striker there. Could it possibly be that Alexander Isak is going somewhere else, or that Newcastle expect a big bid to come in for someone? I'm not sure, but I was surprised because they went from Callum Wilson, which is an all-right Premier League footballer, but not, he wasn't fit enough, let's be honest, and also he's probably not Champions League, Premier League winning quality. I'm not sure they, who only just managed to get out of the PSR problems last summer, I'm not sure how they could drop over 70 million on a backup striker. And I did sit there and think, let me get it straight. I did not think Liverpool the next day would be in talks for Alexander Isak. I just thought maybe, do you know what they're doing? They're future-proofing. In case Alexander Isak goes next year, that's what I thought might happen. They might be bringing in this young lad who might be the same build as Isak and might be the next best thing. I thought maybe they were just future-proofing, I really did. And also, I mean, they signed Alanga, they've got Gordon, they've got Harvey Barnes. I mean, their midfield three is frightening. Like, they're set up unbelievably. And when that news came in that Newcastle were in for Ekitike, I was slightly worried, but more at the fact of, oh my God, like, they're really going for it. My word, are they signing some really boss footballers? I did also think, maybe someone's interested in Isak, but I just did not think that Liverpool could and would drop around 120 million for Alexander Isak. I didn't think we had it in us. I don't know whether that was because of PSR and how much I thought we'd spent. What I will say is Liverpool will have to sell Núñez, that is for sure. You'd think that they'd want to sell Harvey Elliott, which, once again, I love Harvey Elliott and I think that's really sad, but that's something that Liverpool will probably do. They'll probably look at Tyler Morton to get rid of him. One of the fullbacks on the left-hand side will have to go. You can't keep three left-backs in your squad. And if you do, I don't know how we're registering them all for the new start of the campaign. I don't know, but I'd assume one of the fullbacks will go. Obviously not Kirkers, because we've just signed him. I think they would definitely be the players that Liverpool are looking to shift on to try and earn the money back to be able to do this or to stay within PSR restrictions. I think they'd also look at potentially Chiesa and what happens with him. And lastly, I did sit here and think, no way Diaz goes, because I think that's another problem that Liverpool are causing themselves. I don't think Liverpool want to sell him, but I also don't think they want to sign him to a new contract, give it a year and see what happens. However, maybe Liverpool are really just holding out for a decent fee. Maybe they will let Diaz go if it means that they need the money to go and buy Isak. I'm not sure, but my mind has shifted completely to absolutely not getting rid of Diaz because I just thought it was more work for Liverpool to do. To then, actually, if Liverpool need the funds, maybe they might just be holding out from a Saudi club or Barca or Bayern to improve the bids of what they want. And I don't think Bayern will be able to afford what Liverpool wants. I think Liverpool might have to compromise on that. But honestly, I am in disbelief, shock at the fact that Liverpool have just slapped 116 on Florian Wirtz, and like a month or two later, I've gone to Newcastle and said, how does 120 mil sound to you for Alexander Isak? Does that tickle your fancy? I really hope it does. I really do hope it does. I wonder what Newcastle fans thought. Did they get a little bit concerned or worried when the news broke yesterday that they were in for Ekitike? Or did they think it as, we're a big football club, this is what big football clubs do, they go and spend big money to improve squad depth? I'd like to see what they thought. By no means does this mean that Liverpool is going to sign Alexander Isak. I imagine there is a price there that Newcastle cannot refuse. However, I don't know whether Liverpool would be willing to go up to that. It does say that Liverpool is willing to get a deal done in the region of 120 million. Let's just hope that Newcastle cannot say no to 120 or thereabouts, because that is some ridiculous money we're talking about. And I mean, people can keep mentioning injuries with him, and I totally get that. I think he's an absolute world-class footballer. He's the best on the market that is available or that you can try and get. I don't think Julian Alvarez would be my number one, but I don't think you can go in, get him out of Atleti. I don't think you can. Alexander Isak, in terms of a finisher, is probably the best you're going to get. Why spend, let's say, 80 mil upwards to 100 is what was being reported for Ekitike, if you can go and try and just tempt Newcastle to get in the best of the best in Alexander Isak, the proven quality of him. I am absolutely over the moon. I cannot believe that Liverpool have done this. It means that we're being big, and that's all I care about. It's making big moves and showing that we actually mean business. It doesn't mean we'll get it over the line, and if we don't, we can enter the race for Ekitike. And I feel bad because I've not spoken about Ekitike at all, really, signing for Liverpool in this video. But you can't compare them. I'm sorry, you just can't. You've got one who's doing it in the Premier League, who's absolutely bossing it in the Premier League. And a lad who, up until the summer, I hadn't really looked at. Marmoush was the lad at Eintracht Frankfurt who I'd looked at. It wasn't Hugo Ekitike, and he could have a massive future, and he could actually be brilliant for both Liverpool and Newcastle. But let's see what happens. Isak has scored 62 goals in 109 appearances for Newcastle. They obviously signed him in a deal worth 60 million from Real Sociedad. Last season was his most prolific in England. He registered 27 goals in 42 games as Newcastle qualified for the Champions League with 5th place Premier League finish. He does have 3 remaining years on his contract, so it very much is up to Newcastle. It's in Newcastle's hands. Hopefully, Isak can go to them and say, I want to leave on good terms. I'd really like to go to Liverpool. But who knows what will happen. I am just stunned. I'm excited about it. I'm excited because it just means that there's a possibility. Like, I was going through life hoping we could sign Alexander Isak, but not actually thinking Liverpool had the financial ability or, just the ability to do it. Liverpool clearly have the ability. They clearly want him, and they're clearly willing to do a certain amount to get him. And I don't think 120 million is something that's like, if they'd have gone to Newcastle and offered 90 mil, then you'd go, absolutely no chance. But 120, with the fact that it says in the region of, maybe you could get it up. Maybe Newcastle can compromise and come down a little bit from whatever their valuation is. It is just exciting to know that this now could be a potential deal that Liverpool could do. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're as excited about the prospect of it as I am. Like I said, by no means does this mean he will be in a Liverpool shirt come the start of the Premier League season, but we can all hope that that is the case. Let me know if you think Alexander Isak will be coming to Liverpool. Let me know how much you think he'll be joining us for. And let me know how excited you are about the idea of that potentially being the case. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Until the next one, up the Reds.